Well, hello and welcome to the, introductory video for a series I plan on doing here on the channel. And this is one covering some of the top creatures I would like to see be added into the video game Titan Chases, like Godzilla X Kong Titan Chases. And we have lots of different monsters and other things in the Monsterverse. And when I started this, I was planning on making a one-off video for a top 10. Though once I started actually working on that, I got way more creatures than just 10. I started saving stuff, and I'm like, well, I will come narrow it down to 10. And by the time I got done, I had 42 different creatures in total saved. And that's without all of the stuff being out, because at the time I'm recording this, of course, it's the beginning of April. Though they have teased the release of a new sequel comic, I believe, to the Netflix series for Kong, which has lots of, or at least I think 3 new creatures that would actually make it into this series, at least maybe not at the top sort of level. And there's still the compendium that goes along with the creatures for the Kong tabletop game that's still kind of releasing. I will have some of those in here, but I'm sure we'll get more information once that's fully. I don't think it's fully out yet, or at least obviously I don't have it. I might actually kind of get it. It looks kind of interesting. Or I might just take all the stuff off of the wiki when that gets added onto it. So it's not fully done. But yeah, I want to go ahead and make this because I think I'm going to make a couple of these videos, at least sort through all of the stuff that I kind of want to put up. But I thought I'd make this separate video as the introduction to the series, so kind of going over sort of the rules, because somebody might have some different questions, and I've followed a couple of series that kind of go over that each time, and honestly it can be kind of annoying to explain all the things in each video, so I thought I'd do it a little bit differently. And I'm here scrolling through the creatures in the background that's currently in the game, at least currently obtainable in the game, because there's a couple of them that aren't actually obtainable. But to start off with, this has to be a creature that is in the Monsterverse, of course, in the different media forms, games, tie-in comics, more official tie-in comics, and then I guess the less official ones like the Justice League. Let's see, and it also has to be something that has a visual representation. It can't just be a description, because there are some cool things like that sound like I would love to have them in here. Apparently, I think it's Skull Island's supposed to have a giraffe. It's giraffe with a D, however you pronounce that, and it's an armadillo that has the proportions of a giraffe. Sounds neat. Sounds stupid. I would love to see that in the game. No, it's kind of near the top of my list, but there's no art for it. It just is a little description in one of the, I think, movie novelizations, I believe. So no, none of the stuff like that, because it's cool as that would be. The point of this series is sort of showing some stuff off. So kind of pick stuff that's actually appeared and has appeared in a visual sense too. Though I hope some of those other things can also appear, but also that's going to make a less interesting video, because it's just can we have this or that? Oh, it's a giant armadillo giraffe creature. Oh, okay, cool. Though I might do that at some point in the future. All these are special creatures, but no kaiju or giant creatures, with a couple small exceptions there. But I'll go over that in the actual series. And the biggest size needs to be around about the Skullcrawler size / the other stuff that's actually in the game. I think this is one of the biggest guys. Of course, we have a young Siren Jaw. I might do a little bit of fudging with some stuff like that. I have young Siren Jaw, and I think technically, of course, we have the Rock Claw Grub. So this is baby one, because the ones on the map, I didn't know they were that big in the movie they appeared in. I think Core Mouth apparently is massive, but I don't know if that's just this guy's stretched out. And the Skullcrawler, of course, in here it says size 12 to 95 feet. Don't know how big the one we have is, though I guess honestly the one fighting Godzilla is way bigger than that, but we're not using it. And I think at one point this was called a juvenile Skullcrawler. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. Skullcrawler's all over the place. But I'm thinking about this guy or the Sporefly Queen in size. The Sporefly Queen is smaller than I thought she was. I thought she was at one point way bigger. Apparently she's like 30 feet tall. So you have some different funky stuff there, but I'm trying to do like nothing just too gigantic. Of course, it might be a little bit fudged with like, oh, it's just like a smaller version of it. It could be on the smaller end, because there were some creatures like 60 feet long. I mean, biggest thing is if you could actually fit them on like the battlefield sprite. That's really like the biggest thing there. But thinking like with that, and no just like, oh, can we have a baby this, a baby that, a smaller, especially for the stuff that seemed like it would be bigger. So like the Hollow Earth Lizard, I feel like would probably be too big, though he's also bigger than I thought he was. Though like the Rock Claw is bigger than I thought it wasn't. He's eating one of those whole, so I mean he's kind of big. You might could get like a baby Kong species. I don't know how big Suko is, and maybe there's some smaller ones. But that's like, that's a little bit more iffy. Maybe the Iron Dragon, because I think at the beginning of the Monarch series he was like smaller than when he fought with Godzilla. You might could have something like that. And there's going to be a couple little exceptions, but it has to be something that would actually be kind of small enough and be sort of interesting enough to have actually show up. So no just baby version of this and that, though could be kind of cool, but that also might be a little bit harder lore thing. I don't know if the actual Titans would ever normally be small enough to fit in with like fighting, let's say, a Death Jackal. Most of those things should probably be so big something like that shouldn't really affect it. Then the next big thing is, man, that guy's loud, is no stationary plants or solely aquatic creatures. I mean, I think the plants might could work, that they would appear and be at least neat as enemies. But for right now, I'm not going with anything that like couldn't presumably move. I think that would probably be an easier one they would have show up in the game. Fully aquatic creatures, I'm questionable of. I would love to see them kind of work. If we do have that Siren Jaw fight where he's kind of like in the water, so they might at least appear as an enemy. It might even just be like a map sort of creature, layers sort of thing. But I did skip those for now, even though they did look really cool. I do think having something fully in the water would make it kind of difficult. I mean, I guess you could just do a Pokemon thing and it's just kind of out there. But yeah, that is question though. Hey, an aquatic campaign maybe, perhaps? Though that would have more original all aquatic stuff. So, oh well. But that's what I did with picking these. Is nothing that should be like fully just aquatic. Has to be able to come onto land, or might have some cool way to kind of fudge it to get onto land. Then next up is let's see. Trying to see here. I'm sorry, my mind's going blank on me. Let's see. I will also try to cover some stuff about what the moves are going to be, or what a potential moveset could be. So it's not just like put this creature in the game, kind of like what the attacks might be, some other stuff. I also try to include some other information I have of them, or at least some stuff that I think would make them interesting. I don't know how much information all these creatures sort of have, although some of them is not like is immediately out there to get, because I guess some of these things somebody has to buy them and put that information up there. Some different things like that, but I'll try to include some stuff with that, and I hope that is okay. I'm also going to try a little bit of a different editing thing for here. I just got a new computer. I mean, I guess it was a little while ago now, but I don't have all my old editing software and stuff on here, so I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. Haven't really done any like editing since I've got the new computers. I don't really have some software, so I'll see how that goes. Like this one's just kind of be a one-hit wonder, just straightforward recording. And all that good stuff, but I'm gonna try to do a little bit something different for the actual video itself. So I hope that is okay. Also, with that being said, the list is also not actually in order. As much as I'd like to, was also thought once I got to like 40 plus, it was kind of hard to like narrow it down. Like this is the one I want most. There's some other different things with that too, because some of the stuff I think it would just be neat to see them in action on here. Would be neat to see them actually properly animated, so just like a 2D picture. Different things that, some was like higher up on the list because I think it would be more deserving to get in because this may be an OG creature, or it was like a scrap design, or it was supposed to appear in this movie but they chose not to, and he got shoved in this little tie-in comic, but nobody might really have seen that. So there's like different ways I weighted them, at least for my own list, when I was like kind of narrowing it down of what would I want to see the most. So I decided, instead of just doing actually a full list in order, also I will probably come back to this once those other two things I mentioned come out, and maybe some other stuff as well. So I can kind of like rank it again. I might go into more detail there. Like, this is the actual order of the creatures I would like to see in the most. But for right now, this is what I am doing with this, and I hope this hasn't been too I don't know, stupid. And I hope this kind of covers what you can kind of expect to see in the future from this series. I'm planning at least to make 4 videos. I think I can at least do through top 40, though I do have 2 others past that. I might could dig up some other stuff, because to be fair, that's also without choosing all of the creatures that could be in here, because frankly there's a couple of creatures I just don't really find very interesting. Frostrock. So he just didn't even make the list, but you know, if I might do it through the top 50, I could probably find 8 more creatures that at least look kind of interesting that could probably just be thrown in here. But it depends how I feel. But yeah, that is really all I'm doing this. Also, I hope some of y'all can find this interesting. I know this game is probably more geared towards people that like the actual, I guess, main gameplay of this style of game. I think y'all plays like an RTS. I played other RTSs back then. This is not an RTS. I don't want to sound rude. This is nowhere on Soupcom, StarCraft, that type of stuff. This is nowhere even close. But whatever you want to call this style of game, probably more interested in that. I'm more interested, maybe obviously, in the creature collecting aspect and the Monsterverse stuff. I love Pokemon. Give me some Dinosaur King, Jurassic World Alive, stuff like that. And I kind of like this side of the game, and I love lots of the stuff the Monsterverse has put forward, and I think they have lots of interesting creatures, and you could obviously do lots of stuff with them. And I think what this game has really done so far has been really cool. I mean, I like the majority of the game originals. I would at least say everything's above a 5, probably 6 and up. Some I really like. Some's like, it's a little bit more just okay, but I mean, hey, you're going to have that with all these different creatures. But yeah, I really liked what they have done. I look forward to seeing some more of them. Also, let's be honest, some of these animations are really good. I mean, I think, to be fair, some of the creatures don't really have the most going on to really have a little bit more interesting animations to them. Like, I don't know, this guy right here, I think he looks really good animated up. I think the Mother Longlegs, some other things. And I would love to see more of them be able to kind of make it into the game and see them in this pretty solid 3D art style. Some animations, some attacks, some other stuff. I mean, I think it looks, for the most part, really good. And I think it would be neat to see some more of them but have this sort of treatment and love to it. And honestly, I think you might have some more, maybe Monsterverse fans come back to the game if you add some more stuff into it creature related. So I would like to put forward my suggestions, and I don't know, I mean, probably the dev team knows all about like whatever creatures they can and can't use, and have some other things in the works and some other stuff like that. But maybe they'll take some of these into consideration, and it might be a cool introduction for other people within the community that might just be more interested in the style of game and not actually like the creatures as much as Monsterverse stuff as a whole, to get introduced to what some other things are potentially that we could be getting in the near future. So with that being said, this is Tor Gribley signing off. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope this sort of introductory explanation video has been good. This is also my second time recording both of these. The first one didn't really go that well, and I hope this one has gone much better than the previous one, and I hope to get this up soon. Next video might be a little bit slower after this one. Find like a good time to sit down and record it all, but honestly, I feel pretty good about this. So until next time, Tor Gribley signing off. Bye bye. I can't find the stop recording button.